A few years ago, someone at my old job was talking to me, and I was telling them all about, the inner journey and how amazing and empowering yet challenging it was. And this was a really kind, polite person. They listened to me for a while, and then they paused, and then they looked at me, and they said, "I'm so glad for you," which was very sweet. And then they followed it up with, I I don't like the idea of looking within myself because I I feel like I'm going to hate what I find. And I remember kind of being taken aback by this. And I asked them, "Why do you assume that what you will find within you is somehow horrible? Like you've been hiding a monster within yourself your whole life, and now it's going to get unleashed. Why wouldn't you assume that you would find something amazing, something magical, something helpful?" And it's a really interesting notion, right? Because as we are navigating the unconscious, the formlessness through Pisces season, and it's wintertime, the evenings and the nights are still really long. Maybe it's cloudy during the day. It's certainly really cold, at least up here, in Canada in the northern hemisphere. And so the fear of the unknown, which is again, like which is common and it's human. The issue here is not that we have fear. It's when we become frozen and paralyzed in the face of fear. And so on our little journey, and I also love how, because the stars and the universe is inherently generous and loving, and my belief, we're coming out of the moon in Sagittarius right now, but my belief here, a belief that powers me, is that everything is happening to bring us more into alignment with ourselves, to bring us more into a path of self-liberation, self-love, self-empowerment, so that we realize that we are light, liberation, and empowerment. And if we are, I am, you are, we are, then the world also is. On the path to that is navigating the moon moving into the sign of Capricorn. So Capricorn is an earth sign. In its traditional mechanics, it is highly related to structures and systems, right? Like one thing that comes after the other, things that are beyond just the individual. Like think of a car, right? Like the engine, the form of the car, the doors, the sensors, the navigation. And there's a physicality to Capricorn, being that it's an earth sign. So with all of this navigation and the formlessness, one of the beautiful, simple reminders when the moon, which is the nature of our unconsciousness, in Capricorn, is ensuring that we are always in right relationship with our body, our physicality. And this is an interesting thing because on one hand, it absolutely means, eating right, eating well for your body, eating at like the right times for you, which will likely be different than what you hear. Like, this is a trend, eat this, lose weight by doing this, or all of the opinions and narratives that we have. Obviously, some of them can be helpful, but a lot of people struggle with just their physical existence, right? Their physical body. For you, it could be even maybe your physical environment. But there's an energy here which is around grounding and nourishing, because it's like you love your car, you clean it, you take really good care of it, but you always forget to fill up the gas tank. It's not going to run, right? And we often treat our bodies like that. We may brush our teeth and shower every day, but maybe we're unconscious of what we eat. Or maybe we live a very sedentary lifestyle and we do not include things like regular, joyful, expansive, strengthening and stretching type of work. And so coming to right relationship with the body has an aspect of like how we eat and our lifestyle. The other aspect is to learn not to be overly controlled by our natural desires, our hunger for connection, hunger for food. Like if you think of a lot of addictions, certainly they're emotional, but our actions to resolve our addictions are often physical. We may choose to, escape using whatever, drugs or alcohol. We may choose to escape by trying to control everything by, our food or other people or circumstances or situations. And so coming into right alignment with our body is almost like through the body, through the physical matrix of us, we get to integrate aspects of our lower nature, understand it, love it, liberate it. And this is a very, I think, often missed. It is common to miss this step because we get so up in the spirit and the higher mind and the ideology and the philosophy, which we actually were talking about when the moon was in Sagittarius, right? Our thoughts, our perceptions, our inner narrative. And then we ground it into the body. But again, when the sun is in Pisces, we're talking about these formless energies. And one of the things around Pisces is it's also the great unifier, right? It's all of the drops of rain that fall from the sky return to the ocean. One drop may fall on me, or I may drink it in a cup of water. Another maybe, in another part of the world being drunk by somebody else, but they all, like, everything sort of comes together, everything unifies. And so one of the ways to unify our mental body is to actually bring it into the physical. And so these three energies coming from Scorpio, which is when the moon is in Scorpio, which is the aligned relationship between our emotions, our thoughts, and our bodies. This is kind of how we're starting the foundations of how to navigate formlessness, of how to navigate the path where we get to be in an empowered relationship with our unconscious mind. And how are we empowered with something that we don't even know? Well, we have to get really good at not knowing, right? And this is madness. This is a huge challenge. We quest so much to get, to achieve, to control something in life so that we are not, thrown off on a loop. We tend to avoid chaos and confusion. To a large degree, we plan, we overplan. We make, plan Bs and plan Cs. But not knowing is also a very liberated place, because truly when you do not know, you can then approach life with curiosity. You can approach life with an open mind and an open heart and experience life as it is, which is what we're supposed to be doing with our thoughts and emotions and our body, experiencing what is without being caught up in the stories, densities, addictions, narrative. And this requires us to align our thoughts, emotions, and our physicality. And our physicality includes our actions, everything we enact into the world. And that is also a part of Capricorn energy, how I am acting to extend what I am into the world. When we talk about manifestation, we talk about vibes and, I want to be high vibe, or I'm feeling bad, so I'm going to be high vibe. But the thing is, each of us have a toroidal field, an energy field. Each of us emanate a natural vibration. When you do a lot of self-work and all of this stuff, that natural vibration can lighten. It can become enlightened slowly over time, over decades, over lifetimes even. And the truth of that to me is we already are, right? Like, if I'm genuinely a cruel person, I can mask it to a degree, but at some point, an intuitive person is going to feel that off of me, because they're going to feel that which I already am. And so this is us extending and enacting what we already are. So if you already are genuinely kind, genuinely heart open, and you have these baggages of fear and trauma, as you release them, you don't have to work at becoming kind. You release what is in the way, and then you just be what you already are. And there is an ease with that. There's a simplicity with that. And all of that, to me, kind of resides in the body. So we work in this sort of triad where it's like a triangle, but it's a little bit of a cycle where we move through our emotionality, our mentality, and our physicality and sort of cycle through it so that density shifts through all of these bodies and then resolves. And then we can stand in the truth of what we are. And we can be more okay to not know and accept the adventure of life that moves through us. And so that is the navigation. And one of the ways I work with this energy, especially when the moon is in Capricorn or in any earth sign, is this is when I make time to do an evening yoga class or like a restorative yoga class, or just do a lot more stretching, breathing, expansiveness, like almost like if you stretch your hands and try and breathe from one tip of your finger to another tip of your finger, expand yourself, as tall as you are grounded, as front as you are back, and as left as you are right, from your baby toes until the tips of your fingers, and sort of have that space in your physical body. So I hope this meets you where you are at, and I hope you breathe into the expansive, brilliant body system that you are currently in. Have a great day.